Hi and welcome to this video where I'll show you how to crochet this hip scarf. It uses a variation of the crochet flower lace pattern and I would say it's suitable for advanced beginners. So let's get into it. You will need 2 skeins of 50 grams each of lightweight cotton yarn. I use this one from Sostrene Grene, a 3mm crochet hook, scissors, and some medium-sized beads. So just to help you understand the pattern a little bit, it's essentially a triangle which has alternating rows of flowers and diamonds. And we will be starting from the bottom and work our way up. Alright, so you'll get started by making a slip knot. And then chain 4. Work 3 double crochets in the first chain from the hook. And the chain 3 from the beginning basically counts as your first double crochet here. And this is already your row 1. For row 2, start with the chain 4. Turn your work. And work 3 double crochets in the first stitch. This is how you will be starting every single row from now on, with the chain 4 and the cluster of 3 double crochets in the first stitch. Then chain 2. Skip the next 2 stitches, and in your last stitch, which is basically the top of the chain 3 from your previous row, you're going to work 3 double crochets and 1 treble crochet. This is the cluster that you will be ending every row from now on. So 3 double crochets and the treble crochet, which is basically the beginning cluster but in reverse. For row 3, you will start with the chain 4 and 3 double crochets in the first stitch, which is again the beginning cluster, I will call it from now on. Chain 4, double crochet in the chain 2 gap from the previous row. And then chain 4 again. And finish this row with the end cluster, which is 3 double crochets, 1 treble crochet in the last stitch. Row 4, you will start with the beginning cluster of chain 4 and 3 double crochets in the first stitch. Chain 5. Then single crochet in the chain 4 gap from the previous row. Another single crochet in the top of the double crochet from the previous row. And again single crochet in the next chain 4 gap from the previous row. Chain 5. And end your row with the ending cluster of 3 double crochets and 1 treble crochet in the last stitch. Start row 5 with the beginning cluster. Chain 6. Work 1 single crochet in the chain 5 gap from the previous row. Then work 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And another single crochet in the next chain gap. So you should have a total of 5 single crochets. Chain 6. And end your row with the ending cluster in the last stitch. So with the end of row 5, you've basically reached the middle of the first flower. And as you can see on the pattern, from the next row you will be starting with a diamond on each side of the flower. Start row 6 with the beginning cluster. And then you'll be making the bottom square of your first diamond, which is a chain 2. You skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the 3rd stitch. Next, work 3 double crochets in the chain gap from the previous row. Chain 5. And then you'll skip the first single crochet from the previous row and add 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Maybe you've noticed, but you're basically repeating the flower part of row 4. Skip the last stitch or the last single crochet from the previous row. Chain 5. And now you're repeating what you did on the other side but in reverse. So work 3 double crochets in the chain space. One double crochet in the first stitch or the first double crochet from the previous row. And then you'll be making the bottom of the second diamond, the same as you did on the other side. So chain 2 and work your ending cluster in the last stitch. So on to row 7, where you'll start with the beginning cluster as usual. And then you'll continue working your way up the diamond with 3 squares. So chain 2, skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the 3rd stitch. Again, chain 2, double crochet in the next stitch, skipping the chain 2 gap. Another chain 2, skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the third stitch. Work 3 double crochets in the next chain gap. And then you'll be repeating basically the flower part of row 3, which is chain 4, double crochet in the second stitch, which is the middle single crochet from the previous row, another chain 4, work 3 double crochets in the chain space, and 1 double crochet in the first stitch or the first double crochet from the previous row. So now you'll basically be repeating how you started the row. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the third. Another chain 2, double crochet in the next stitch, skipping the gap. Chain 2. And finally make your ending cluster of 3 double crochets and 1 treble crochet in the last stitch. Row 8, you'll start with the beginning cluster. And then you will continue expanding the diamond with 1 empty square on each side. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the third stitch. And then you will continue with this pattern of chain 2 and the double crochet until you reach the chain 4 gap from the previous row. Work 3 double crochets in the chain 4 gap. Chain 2. And again 3 double crochets in the chain gap. Then work 1 double crochet in the first stitch or the first double crochet from the previous row. And from here on, you're basically repeating the beginning part of this row. So chain 2, skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the third stitch. Again chain 2, double crochet in the next stitch, skipping the gap, and continue until you reach the end stitch where you'll be also working in the end cluster. So as you can see with row 8, you've also completed the first flower. Start row 9 with the beginning cluster. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the third stitch. And then you will continue with chaining 2 and double crocheting in the next double crochet from the previous row. And you will be doing this until you have 7 of these empty squares. This is basically the middle row and the longest row of the diamond. Work 2 double crochets in the next chain gap. And 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And then you will repeat like you did in the beginning of this row. Chain 2 and double crochet until you have 7 squares on this side as well. And as usual, end the row with the ending cluster. So as you can see in the pattern, in the next row you'll already be starting with your second row of flowers, adding 1 flower extra on each side. For row 10 you will start as usual with the beginning stitch. Then you're going to chain 2 and skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the third stitch. Then work 2 double crochets in the next chain gap. And 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So as you can see, this part is basically the base of your flower, the first row of your flower. And that means that you're also going to start decreasing your diamond. So you're basically working row 8 but in reverse. Chain 2 and double crochet in the next double crochet from the previous row until you have 5 empty squares. And here you'll be repeating what you did in the beginning, creating the base of your second flower. So work 2 double crochets in the next chain gap. 1 double crochet in the first stitch, chain 2, skip 2 stitches and double crochet in the third stitch, and again 2 double crochets in the next chain gap, and 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So now you'll be repeating the same chain 2 double crochet pattern as you did in the first part of the row until you have 5 empty squares. And here you'll be making the base of the third flower. So 2 double crochets in the chain gap, one double crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, and end with the ending cluster of 3 double crochets and 1 treble crochet in the last stitch. Start row 11 with the beginning cluster. And here you're basically repeating what you did in row 3, creating the next part of your flower. So chain 4, double crochet in the chain gap, another chain 4, then skip 3 stitches and double crochet in the 4th stitch from the previous row. Work 2 double crochets in the chain gap, and 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Then you'll continue by making 3 squares of chain 2 and 1 double crochet. And now you'll just be repeating, again building up your flower, same as you did in the beginning. So 2 double crochets in the chain gap, one double crochet in the next stitch, chain 4, double crochet in the next chain gap, chain 4 again, skip 3 stitches and double crochet in the 4th stitch. Two double crochets in the next chain gap, and 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then you will just repeat the same pattern as before. For row 12, after you finish the beginning cluster, you'll basically start by doing what you did in row 4. So chain 5, one single crochet in the chain gap, one single crochet in the double crochet from the previous row, another single crochet in the chain gap, chain 5, skip 3 stitches, double crochet in the 4th stitch, work 2 double crochets in the next chain gap, one double crochet in the next stitch, and this is basically the last row of your diamond, so you only need one square. So chain 2 and double crochet in the next stitch, work 2 double crochets in the next chain gap, one double crochet in the next stitch, and now you'll be repeating the same pattern for the rest of the row. So basically you're going to be making the flower patterns, working the flower up with chain 5, 3 single crochets and chain 5, and then making the last part of the diamond with 4 double crochets, chain 2 and 4 double crochets. For row 13, after doing the beginning cluster, you're going to chain 6, work 1 single crochet in the chain gap, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 single crochets from the previous row. Another single crochet in the chain gap, chain 6, skip 3 stitches and double crochet in the 4th stitch, work 2 double crochets in the chain gap, one double crochet in the next stitch, and then you're going to be repeating the same pattern for the rest of the row, starting from the chain 6. After finishing this row, you've basically again reached the middle part of the flower. So from the next row, you'll be starting on the diamond. And as a rule of thumb in this pattern, whenever you reach the middle row of either a flower or a diamond, you know that the next row you will start with building up the other. So in this case, from the next row, we'll be starting again with the diamond. So row 14, after finishing the beginning cluster, you're going to chain 2, which is basically the first square of the diamond. Skip 2 stitches, double crochet in the 3rd stitch, and then work 3 double crochets in the next chain gap. Chain 5, skip the first stitch and work a single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Again, chain 5, work 3 double crochets in the chain gap, and 1 double crochet in the first stitch. And from here on, you'll be repeating the exact same thing as you did from the beginning until the end of the row. So as you can see, the pattern is very repetitive. Next row will be exactly as row 7. The only difference is that with each row of flowers and diamonds, you're essentially adding 1 flower or 1 diamond on each side. So 2 diamonds or flowers per row. So you can just go back to row 7 and continue from there on. And I will meet you when you reach row 37. Alright, so you will be stopping basically in the middle of a row of flowers. You can tell it's the middle by counting 5 single crochets in the middle of the flower. And by this point, your last row of diamonds should be of 8 diamonds. Alright, so the edge of the scarf looks pretty much the same everywhere, but the sides are a little bit different than the top in pattern. You're going to start with chain 1 and then work 3 single crochets in this first gap, which is basically the gap formed by the last or the first stitch from the previous row. Then work 1 single crochet in the next small gap. That is basically the joining space between 2 rows. Here you will also be working a picot stitch, so chain 1 and then slip stitch in the top loops. So there's sort of 2 sequences going on at the same time. One of them is that every 4th stitch is going to be a picot stitch. So next up, work 2 single crochets in the next gap. 1 single crochet in the smaller gap, which is the joining stitch between rows. Then again, work 2 single crochets in the next gap. And the first single crochet is again the 4th stitch, so it is a picot stitch. And from here on, you will basically just be repeating 1 single crochet in each small gap, which is the joining stitch between the 2 rows, and then 2 single crochets in the bigger gap. And every 4th stitch, regardless of which one it is a picot stitch. So just keep repeating this and I'll meet you when you reach the corner. When you reach this point, work the last 2 single crochets in the big gap. Then work 3 single crochets in the top stitch. And at this part, do not make any more picot stitches until you reach the other side. Then continue the pattern as you did before, starting with 2 single crochets in the big gap. And you'll also be starting with the picot stitches again, and to know where to start with the first one, just look on the other side and make sure it's symmetrical, starting at a similar point. Just repeat the same pattern of 2 single crochets in the big gap, 1 single crochet in the small gap, and a picot stitch every 4th stitch, and I'll meet you when you reach the corner. In the corner, in the last gap, work 4 single crochets. Then work 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and here I'm also starting with a picot stitch. Again, here it's going to be every 4th stitch is a picot stitch. Then work 4 half double crochets in the next chain space. and then work 1/2 double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. And again 4 half double crochets in the chain gap. Once you reach the cluster of 4 double crochets from the previous row, you will work 1 single crochet in each double crochet. And the reason we are alternating between half double crochets and single crochet is to kind of try to keep the edge as straight as possible, since as you see with the flowers finished like that, it's a little bit wobbly, so this helps in straightening it. And from here on, you'll just be repeating the exact same pattern of single crochets and half double crochets, and with picot stitches every 4th stitch. Once you reach the end of the row, just finish off with slip stitching in the last stitch. Next step is making the straps with which you will tie the scarf around your waist. And these are not going to be right in the corner. They will be attached in the stitches above the bigger gaps. Whichever side you start on, it's important that you hold your work with the corner to the left and just attach the yarn with a slip knot in any of those stitches around that big gap. It doesn't matter exactly where you do it. And then make a chain which is just long enough to tie the scarf together. I like having these straps a little bit longer, so mine was 47 centimeters long. So when you reach the length you want, you're just going to start single crocheting your way back down to the scarf. So you skip the first chain and then just start single crocheting from the second chain until you reach the scarf. Once you reach the scarf, just slip stitch in the stitch on the left side of the one you attach the yarn to. So the one towards the corner of the scarf. And that's how you make the straps. And the reason why I'm not attaching them right in the corner but a little bit more towards the middle is because when you're going to pull the straps to tie it to your hips, if it's too much in the corner, it might pull the sides more than the top part. So this prevents that. Just repeat the same on the other side. Only thing, make sure that you're holding your scarf with the corner to the left side. For attaching the beads, of course you can attach them in any way you want, but how I do it is I just attach the yarn at the end of a strap and then work a couple of chains just long enough to attach one bead and then make a knot. And I on purposely make the knot with the chain, not just with the yarn, so that the knot will be big enough so that the bead doesn't fall off. And of course, make the same on the other strap. For attaching the beads in the bottom corner, it's essentially the same thing. You just have to make a strap a little bit longer, since here I attached 3 beads, but otherwise it's the exact same process. And that's it, you're done with the scarf. You just have to weave in your ends if you haven't done yet. I know it's not the nicest thing to do. And I would also recommend blocking it, so just dip it in water and then let it dry flat on a towel. Or if you want a quicker way to do it, which is how I did here, is you can also iron or steam it, and that will help with just getting it a little bit of a better drape. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, hope the project worked out. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask, and I'm curious to see all the results. Thank you for watching. Bye bye!